And welcome back another episode of NBA 2K14. In the last episode, as the Denver Nuggets dominated the Sacramento Kings 109 to 94. And coming up next, we are heading to Baker's Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. We got the central rivalry matchup as Kyrie Irving and the Cleveland Cavaliers take on Paul George and the Indiana Pacers. These two teams met in the third time in this regular season, and the final matchup will be played for the last game of the season on April 13th as we approach the NBA playoffs are around the corner. So for this game, the Cavaliers going to use the blue shirts and the Pacers going to use the white shirts. And that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. I'm going to control the Indiana Pacers. We are moments away here. The Baker's Life fails in Indianapolis. We send it over to Kevin Harlan here in Indianapolis at the Baker's Life Fieldhouse. Anyways, enjoy the video and let's get started. Peace out. Enjoy. Here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to 2K Sports. Damon Bruce here. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers up against the Indiana Pacers. And that's it for us in the studio. To call all the action, let's go out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll see you again at halftime.
Welcome, everyone. This is the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan, ready to bring you all the action along with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. A quick check now at the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Cavaliers, Irving and Waiters, the guards. And inside, a towering 7-footer, maybe the most imposing big man in the game. All-star center, Andrew Bynum. Then it's Alonzo G. And it's Thompson in at the power forward position. And then for the Indiana Pacers, George Hill at the 1, Paul George at the 2. And starting 7'2", one of the true giants in the game, another great big man out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert. Then there's Danny Granger. And it's West in at the 4.
You know, it's really hard to say that Lady Luck hasn't been smiling on the Cavs in the past few years. LeBron was lost a few years back, but ever since then, they've had tremendous luck in the NBA draft lottery and had the first overall pick in 2 of the last 3 years.
And it's the Cavaliers to start out. Irving against Hill. Irving kicks to G. Bynum inside. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line. Going back to what you said about the Cavs, great luck for them indeed with 2 number 1s in 3 years. That's definitely how you turn a franchise around.
Well, you got to make sure you hit on those draft picks. As of right now, I would say only Kyrie Irving is a sure thing. Dion Waiters, the jury's still out. Tristan Thompson looks like a nice player. He's getting better. We'll find out with Anthony Bennett.
And it's Paul George with the foul. That's his first foul.
Well, that was a quick foul for him there. The refs are certainly calling it close.
Irving kicks to Bynum. The shot hits the jumper. Bynum's got 5.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him. Tell you what, I don't know of any players that like to miss time during an NBA season, but no player especially wants to miss time because of a bowling accident. One of the bigger head scratchers last season was Bynum's absence because of knocking over some bowling pins.
Here's Waiters. After Danny Granger's bucket. Shots good by Waiters. And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. George passes to Granger. Off his leg. And the ref's whistling a kick ball. And for Bynum, that setback with his knee suffered bowling. You don't normally think of bowling as hazardous.
Well, it depends how you play. Personally,
Well, that's true.
I've always felt bowling can be very physical, but I play a different style. I know you probably just roll the ball.
What do you mean? Different style?
I attack the pinch. I'm aggressive as a bowler. You probably just like take 2 hands and
special when hit like that. Right side, George. The basket drops, and it's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
That finish brings me back to the old days, the silky smooth finger roll.
Well, he's an exciting young player. Almost 6'10", great athleticism, length, dynamic finisher at the rim, and he can guard multiple positions defensively.
And you know what, Steve? His growth defensively has been just as impressive. He uses that length to great advantage, contesting shots and coming away with deflections and steals. Well, Mike Brown hired back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I got a chance to know him a little bit when he was an assistant with the Pacers early in his coaching career and was let go by the Cavs back in 2010. Family laid down roots in Cleveland, and I think he's glad to be back.
Pretty impressive. 5 straight makes to start this game.
Irving against Hill. Irving attacking, and yes, sir, that one drops. Irving's got his first basket of the night. Indiana's gone 3 of 3 from deep. 9 points rung up from outside here in the first. And for Mike Brown, it's finally a desperation move by the Cavs to try to keep LeBron James. Steve, how'd you analyze that?
Well, I'm not sure that LeBron actually wanted him gone. Well, he's a great defensive strategist, a guy who excels in player development. And give credit to him, he didn't burn any bridges when he left. He maintained strong relationships there in Cleveland, and it's great to see Mike Brown back there with the Cavaliers.
Now, here is George after Dion Waiters' miss. And that one's good. Pippett's got his first points of the game.
Everything going according to the script for them offensively so far.
Yeah, the shots have been falling, that's for sure. The offense really in a good groove.
And Granger with the block. On the wing, George, defended by Waiters. And here's Hill for 3, and Indiana, another 3.
Well, they had a pretty good grasp of the game plan coming into this one. That's been very apparent.
And anytime a team gets a double-digit lead in the first... quarter, Steve, you could be headed for blowout city.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers. Another look now for Cleveland. Anderson Varejau's checked in for Bynum. Bennett comes in for Tristan Thompson. And it's C.J. Miles in for Alonzo G. Here's Irving. This is the Jack. To end the run, and the basket good.
He's definitely got that shot in his arsenal.
Pacers leading by 8.
Well, one of the things you love about Jared Jack, other than his leadership and professionalism, is his ability to create his own shot. I mean, he is strong and athletic and very aggressive in looking for his shot. It's tough for a defender to body him up or throw him off stride by playing physically with him because he relishes in that.
Boy, has there been any defense played yet in this game?
Nope, this game has been all about rapid-fire offense early.
Kicks it to Mahinmi. A fadeaway. Good. The assist goes to Hill.
They've made one basket after another since getting this game started, and you wonder, is the blowout in store?
Too early to say that and go there, Steve, but it has been pretty ugly so far.
Now here is Jack. Bennett dishes to Irving. Outside Jack. Passes to Bennett. Shot clock at 6. And Cleveland again with the bucket. And Clark, moments ago, you just talked about Jared Jack. He can make some tough shots, Steve. We saw it all season long with Golden State last year.
Well, he's fearless, Kevin. His ability to shoot off the dribble and knock down a 3, but in pressure situations, he seems to really thrive, and I think that's where he separates himself from a lot of NBA players.
And George kicks to Hill. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
They are making some noise from downtown, guys.
And they've got themselves a very nice lead to show for it.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Good! Irving's got his second basket of the night.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
Pass to George. He feeds it to Scola. Puts one up from 19. Shot is off. Excellent D from Bennett. Here's Irving. And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. It's the Pacers up 9. And the second quarter will get underway just after this short break. Welcome back, folks. See if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for Indiana.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
Another thing they've been doing so far tonight is knocking down the jump shot.
Let's go now to the side. Catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Yes, Kevin, for David West, he was signed by the Pacers back in 2011, and he's helped them advance from the team that had lost in the first round to a team that pushed the Miami Heat to 7 games in the conference finals. Now, re-signed by the Pacers, and teammate Roy Hibbert happy to have him back. Hibbert said, "Before David got here, we were soft. All we would do was shoot threes, and that was it. He came here and he brought confidence. We played hard, we played together, and played as a team. Guys, David a leader on and off the floor."
Well, Doris, confidence is so key in this league. Thanks. Here's Jack. After Danny Granger's bucket. And that one's good. 6 points for Jarrett Jack.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
And even if it costs them some foul trouble, I mean, they need to start putting some bodies on bodies. Be physical.
Now here is Jack. 6 points for him. Irving for 3. That's good. Irving's got 7.
One of the bright young head coaching stars in the league, Frank Vogel, took over the Pacers on an interim basis 3 seasons ago and immediately paid dividends. He had a strong finish to that season and his first season in a competitive first-round series against Chicago. And that success has continued to build and grow, and Frank Vogel deserves a lot of the credit.
Timeout called the Cavaliers. And as we get a break here, important for the teams to go over their own strategy, and for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade. So put out your best effort as the game wears on, guys.
You know, it's amazing when you're playing during the season, if you go through a stretch where you don't hydrate, it can have a major physical toll on you. Your body wears down quicker and recover as fast, and that can really take its toll over the course of an 82 game.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Well, they already had them staggered, and now all of a sudden they're throwing some haymakers.
Miles, that's good. And Coach Vogel, the second youngest coach in the NBA last season, but he'd been working in the NBA for 15 years, Steve, prior to that, prior to becoming a head coach.
Yeah, 5 years as a video coordinator, a couple seasons as an advanced scout, and then 8 years on the bench as an assistant. So he's definitely paid his dues and learned a lot on his way up the ladder.
Here's Harris now. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got assist number 5 here tonight. Stolen by Waiters. It's good. True contact on the shot, so we will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. First trip to the free throw line for him tonight. For the Cavaliers, Andrew Bynum's checked in for Bergeron. Tristan Thompson comes in for Bennett. And Alonzo G subbed in for C.J. Miles. Free throw, good. Waiters.
You know, in order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. Tough team and a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East. That is some real serious dime dropping there. Exquisite assist.
Blanketed by the D, fights to the rim for the layup.
He's one of the best in the league at that. Even with just a tiny sliver, he always seems to find a way to get it up and in.
And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really, that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them. Given it's a big, strong, kind of old-school team that will pound you inside, they rebound, they protect the paint. There aren't a lot of matchups that seem to bother this team.
Here's George. Tion Waiters making his last shot. And George kicks to Johnson for three. Hill. And the Pacers another three.
Well, as long as the threes keep dropping for him, he'll continue firing away.
And they are dropping for him. What a game he's having from deep.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. There was a lot of speculation on what the Cavs would do leading up to last summer's draft. No clear-cut number one, and they had a handful of guys to select from and even tried to shop the pick. Ultimately, they shocked everyone and took Anthony Bennett first overall. They're hopeful it works out as well as their last few number one picks, guys.
Yeah, great young player and certainly a stand-up individual. Thanks, Doris. And so here is Indiana. 13 points was their biggest lead in the game. George. Good. The assist goes to him. And that's now 17 points for Paul George.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the three-point line. That's 4 of the last 5. You got to run those guys off the line.
I agree, and the defense is practically giving them those shots, though.
There's the dish to Hibbert. Stolen by Waiters.
Not sure if they're aware of the 2-for-1 opportunity they have.
Well, they need to be. Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful. Transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close. You know, it seems like when they've gone to him, he's really come through. And that's not something they should get away from.
The Cavaliers trail by 9. Irving gets a screen from Byron. Irving passes to Waiters. There's the killer two-handed slam.
Cutting into that lead a little bit. Way to finish.
And the basket is still... shaking.
Oh, man, he's got so much power.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Outside, George. He dishes it to West. Bynum with the steal. Pass to G. He kicks it to Waiters. The feed to Bynum. Banked in off the glass. And now it's only a 5-point Indiana lead.
Well, he's so good at recognizing where the openings are and getting the ball to the rim.
Close game as we wrap up the second quarter. Pacers lead by 5. Folks, stay tuned for the halftime show at Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half.
Now, presented by Sprint. Now let's go straight to the Monday night halftime report. Out in Indiana, the Pacers are in front against the Cavaliers, having their way on offense, and that may be an understatement. They simply can't miss. An unbelievable half from Paul George. Seems like everything's falling for him. Not sure if he even knows how to miss. And this dedicated Cavaliers team is weathering the storm. They've been relentless attacking the rim, dominating in points in the paint, and the bodies down low have been banging away. Dion Waiters absolutely dominating. He scored 16 points and is putting out the effort defensively as well, making his presence felt on both ends of the floor. And we'll be heading back to the court for the rest of our coverage as we go to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far.
You know, the Cavs have been very mindful of remaining flexible in terms of the salary cap. And when you do this, you set yourself up to perhaps make a big splash in free agency at some point, and you know what's coming. They might have a chance to re-sign LeBron in 2014 with how their books look.
And here's Irving, following Danny Granger's three. Here's G, takes the 12-footer and hits. G's got 6 points.
Well, as for them being behind in this game, you certainly can't put any of it on his shoulders. He's been tremendous offensively.
And it's Alonzo G with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. And that had been the rumor for a while, the Cavaliers looking to maybe mend some bridges and bring LeBron back into the mix when he gets free agency next year. Their books are certainly in order for it, Steve, and it might happen.
Hey, you never know. I mean, nobody expected LeBron to leave in the first place, so why not give yourself an opportunity? You are in his backyard in terms of LeBron's hometown, so I like what the Cavs have done. They've added young talent, but they've maintained flexibility just in case.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint. I guess the good news is they've taken away the outside shot.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how good their perimeter defense is if they're going to allow inside looks as easy as that.
Now, here is George. He's got 19. That's good.
They're getting a bunch of their points outside of the paint. 3 of their last 5 buckets are from three-point range.
But the defense isn't making them earn it. I mean, those shots have just come on easy, open looks.
And it's Bynum with the jam.
Now you look at Irving and how much success he's had early in his NBA career. I think the only thing standing between him and true stardom right now is health. He's just had a lot of nagging injuries. He would love to put together an injury-free season.
Nice shot by George.
That's 4 straight from the field, guys. Off to a quick start this third quarter.
Jared Kick is checked in for Kyrie Irving. The Cavaliers trail by 10, and for Kyrie Irving, his first All-Star appearance last season, and just quite his second year.
Well, you look at his age and what he's doing, really a skilled scorer and playmaker. Already with size and athleticism. I like his savvy too, Kevin. He's very slick in how he gets around the basketball court. This kid has a chance to perhaps be an MVP caliber player in a few more years.
Hit his foot, and it's whistled a kick. Kyrie Irving's checked in for Cleveland. And George, here we go. Now the pass to Copeland. Traps in the tray. Copeland's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Yeah, he's a bomber. I mean, that's what I love about him. He's as good a three-point shooter as you'll see. And of course, has the green light to let it fly anytime he wants.
Very true, Steve. I mean, he's also one of those guys who doesn't take long at all to get on a roll offensively. He's a fun player to watch when he gets hot.
Here's Granger after Jarrett Jackson scored. Granger kicks to Copeland. And Indiana, another 3.
That's now a dozen straight points coming off wide-open three-pointers.
You know what it looks like to me out there, guys? I mean, it looks like All-Star Weekend out there. We know how much defense is played there. It's actually defense during the All-Star Weekend, no D.
Nice ops and determination that time. To get to the rim.
We know he can bounce, and right there an example of how dangerous he is when he's got a path to the hoop.
And you love the versatility, guys. Being a point guard, and in this situation, they tack on 2 more points, expanding the lead in a pretty deflating way for the defense. Great job there, recognizing the mismatch and taking advantage.
They got to put a bigger guy on him. Otherwise, he'll bury those jumpers all game.
And the Pacers call time here. And the Cavaliers making a change here. Pacers leading by 12.
You know, it had been a while since the Pacers were able to win their division. Matter of fact, the last time it happened was the season right before the NBA realigned the divisions to their current state back in 2004. But they were able to raise another banner last season.
Now, here's Thompson. That is good. Thompson's got 4 this quarter. Second half here. We're just over 3.5 minutes into it. And Thompson sends it back. Stola against Jack. Feeds it to G. Dishes it to Bennett. Outside Jack. Cleveland moving the ball around. Just 5 on the clock. Thompson passes it to Waiters. Takes it from downtown. Waiters got 9. Points. Well, a big part of why the Pacers were able to take the Central, as you were saying, they were so dominant within their division.
Well, they went 13-3 against their division, so not an easy thing to do. Although, if you look at the Central, he was down last year. Derrick Rose's injury, but also rebuilding teams in Milwaukee and Detroit and Cleveland. But the Pacers did what they needed to do.
That's what I like, a nice, strong finish inside.
That's what he does. He's got that dunker mentality.
Just a tremendous athlete. Guys able to go up and finish over everybody defensively, even the big guys down low.
There's been a huge discrepancy between these teams and their effectiveness from the three-point line.
And you really notice it at that end of the floor where they continue to get open looks and knock them down.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better, the pass, the catch, or the slam?
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed. All of the above.
West, and again, it's Indiana converting.
Such a difficult shot to defend, that turnaround.
Outside Jack. Kicks to Bennett. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. Bennett's got his second bucket of the night.
That's what has to happen if they're going to turn this thing around. He's got to take charge. He's got to be aggressive and really look to push here offensively.
Just knocked down the buzzer.
Just when it looked like the third quarter was over, they go and do that. They pin 3 more points on the lead in the cruelest of fashions.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Indiana out in front, leading by 14. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports. And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the one. But you never know. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Indiana.
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half is carried right over into the second.
Something we've also seen them doing tonight is getting the long ball to go down. Big points from outside.
Now here's Waiters. Here's Verajao. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Verajao's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Cavs. Pass to Granger from the arc. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Hill's got 4 assists now tonight.
And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today.
A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve.
Pacers leading by 13. And George kicks to Hill. Again, Indiana.
So nice to have a guy like that who can take charge at any time.
Yeah, so many of his passes, Steve, have led directly to baskets.
Now, here is Irving. Here's Miles. Another 3 for Cleveland.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They got to get more intense.
And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Bennett's checked in for the Cavaliers. Hanzo G comes in for Dion Waiters. Ranger from outside. And a rebound goes to the Cavaliers. Irving up top. He's guarded by Hill. He feeds it to G. And it's Paul George with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Yeah, he had not established position.
You know, I prefer the ref to whistle with a block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call there.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Yes, Kevin, Mike Brown was just going over the plan with his team. He was emphatic. We're not getting it done, fellas. We've simply got to step up, get engaged, and try to battle back. Guys, we'll see if the pep talk gets them going.
All right, Doris, thanks. First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. Gene and Cleveland again with the bucket.
Well, I think he's really willing his team on now. He's carrying them. He's doing it all. He's yet to miss a shot.
Time call here. Indiana decides to talk it over.
I tell you what, the Cavs can certainly attest to how strong the Central Division was last year. It was a big problem for the Cavs finding wins against the rest of their division mates, and they ended up last in the Central Division standings. Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
And for the Cavs, nobody expected them to win the Central by any means. But, Steve, their fans were hoping they could avoid another finish at the bottom of the heap and a division record of 3-13.
Well, that's 3 straight finishes at the bottom of the Central Division for them. But then, look, this is a tough group of teams with Indiana and Chicago, of course, at the top. But, you know, Cleveland is a young team. They're going up against some veteran squads. They should be better as this season goes on and as their young players continue to improve.
We're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter in this one. Irving kicks to Bennett. Pass to Waiters. The dish to Bennett. Beats him in there. Hibbert with the block. They'll go get another chance. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Waiters. Deflects the pass. And stolen by Bennett. Here's G. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet. On the fast break.
And Clark Power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
And George kicks to Granger. Drills the three-pointer. Granger's got 9 points now in just the second half.
This is incredible. It's been a three-point barrage since halftime.
Yeah, whether by design or by accident, it has been impressive.
Bennett, Granger covering, all alone. And Cleveland again with the bucket.
Unstoppable offense from both teams. I love the pace this game has been played at.
So does everybody else in the building. This has been a fun one.
Now, here is George. Granger outside. Back to George. All sorts of time. And he swishes it right through. George has got 27 points.
I tell you, he's really carrying a lot of the load offensively, and that's almost always good news for them.
And Indiana making a change here. West is checked in. Out of bounds, Indiana takes possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Indiana leading by 9. Here's Hill. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the strike for 2. It's going to be on Kyrie Irving.
What a performance. Just look at the game for Hill. He's got 17 points and just an amazing performance from downtown.
He is raining down the threes, guys.
know how much I love to see this.
Both free throws good from Hill. A look at the clock, a little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. And on the way from Irving for three, gets it to go.
Well, you know, he has shot the ball well, but it has not been contagious. And his teammates, they haven't had the same groove, and that's why we're looking at this result so far.
That bucket in no time at all. 24 points for Danny Granger.
Oh, the rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
Now, here is Irving. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Irving's got 7 now in this quarter.
You know, there's no fear out of him, guys. I mean, going straight to the hoop against a much bigger defender, he's got a lot of heart.
A nice shot by George.
And he continues to shoot well after that blazing first half.
The Cavaliers trail by 12. Irving drives in, and he banks in the layup.
Well, that shot keeps him at 100% from the field this quarter.
George dishes to Edward, and the shot is good.
Well, if it wasn't already out of reach, it is now, thanks to this spurt.
Just keep on firing, man. No reason to slow down now.
Cleveland's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. That one from long range.
Right now, the defense needs to do a better job of closing out on this guy. He's heating up from outside.
Shots good by Waiters.
Boy, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
Here's George. The shot from the low post is good. George has got 32 points in the game.
Time to turn out the lights on this game.
I think they deserve a ton of credit for the way they played here today. Truly a professional display.
Now, here is George. Andrew Bynum unable to get his shot to go. Hill, he's covered by Irving, and the Pacers another 3.
Well, they're going to walk out of here with a win and send this crowd home happy.
A very solid performance in a lot of areas for them.
And the Cavaliers call time here. They trail by 12. We got 22 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Guys, what do you think?
Well, this one's in the bag. I mean, I commend them for really putting forth the effort until the very end. But this thing's over.
You know, sometimes you just have to throw up the white towel and let fate run its course so you can get on to the next game.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. Anderson Varejau's checked in for Bynum. C.J. Miles comes in for Alonzo G. Caruso, who's checked in for Dion Waiters. And Jarrett Jack is subbed in for Kyrie Irving. And again, it's Indiana. 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And stolen by Granger. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. How much to be critical of at this ring, Clark?
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harmon. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George.
So we are tomorrow. We are heading to Memphis, Tennessee for the last national television matchup because they have an announcement for ESPN Sunday. Will make it push through. We are going to Memphis, Tennessee. We got the Western Conference matchup as Mark Gasol and the Memphis Grizzlies take on Kevin Love and the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's gonna be a good game now here in Phoenix from for the last matchup here. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Genshin. As we are tomorrow night, we will have the last day of the national championship features. The Florida Gators take on Houston Cougars. It's gonna be the last day of the 2025 college basketball. So once again, this is Andre Kenshin as the Indiana Pacers dominated the Cleveland Cavaliers 117 to 105. I'm Andre Kenshin. Say song for Baker's Life Fails in Indianapolis. We will see you tomorrow here at the Phoenix Forum in Memphis for the Minnesota Timberwolves take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Once again, this is Andre Kenshin say song for Baker's Life Fails in Indianapolis, and it's time to say sign up and peace out. Good night, and reminder, we see you tomorrow for the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. Sign up and peace out. Good night, and thanks for watching. Peace out.